Hi there, everyone. Happy Thursday. King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon here with you. This is going to be a short video, and for some of you, this is going to be an exciting video because we're talking about drier weather and warmer weather that will be ahead for us. We've gotten a lot of this active weather out of the way, although we do expect to see some showers across the area heading into the weekend. I think a good portion of the area here in western Washington will stay dry. So let's go ahead and get into it because we are noticing temperatures that have been cooler than average the past few days. 47 back on Tuesday, 50 degrees on Wednesday. And if you remember, we were trying to see if we were going to hit 2 consecutive days in the 40s here out at SEA, and that did not happen. So for that to happen twice in a row in the month of April, or even 3 times in a row, that hasn't happened since 2023. So it looks like that's safe again for at least another year. We'll see what happens heading into 2027. All right, let's talk about that forecast because yes, we are warming up. We're going to see highs back into the mid and upper 50s tomorrow. A few spots hitting 60, and then not only just hitting the 60s, but well into the 60s for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and even Tuesday before seeing a cooling trend heading on into Wednesday and by next Thursday. But a lot of dry days ahead for us with only more of those spotty showers off towards the west. Now, first off, beautiful shot right here at Stevens Pass. The road and highway completely clear. If you are driving across, though, you are going to notice more cloud coverage and a beautiful scene of all the fresh snow that has fallen here over the past couple of days. Over this way towards Westport, still seeing some off and on sprinkle activity. Even as we speak right there, you can see that early into your Thursday evening, noticing a few of those rain droplets on the camera. And our school net site here in Granite Falls also dealing with some fresh snow from the past 24 hours. Port Angeles, clear skies here and a lot of sunshine. We've been noticing more of that across some other spots too, like here around the airport. SEA looking nice and sunny with those clouds off into the distance. And here in Seattle, things looking pretty quiet as we get ready to head on into the night. We'll drop down into the 40s and another chilly overnight, and we do have more of those frost advisories, which we'll be talking about here pretty soon. First, a look at radar and how really little of anything still out there for us as we head on into the evening. I wanted to really point out the flow and the cloud coverage, the direction that is traveling right now. I'll point out to where we do have a system out over the Pacific. You can kind of see that. It's kind of easy right here out over that way where you can see that swirl of low pressure. What we are noticing, though, is that our flow in the atmosphere as you get closer to North America goes like this, from north eventually down to south, or just the general direction, and that is. And with that next system that's going to be coming on in, that's going to be pretty much more the general way it will track. Now, first off, again, let's talk about those frost advisories. You can see that we do have those, again, in effect later on into the night. Last night, we had freeze warnings out for some of the areas across Mason County, Thurston County, as well as interior portions of Grays Harbor County and more of Lewis counties. Looks like we're going to be clear, and we should be fine as we head on into the night. So we're not going to see any of those. The temperature's not quite as cold, but low to mid 30s, temperatures near that freezing point, still possible and still able to produce some of that frost into early into the morning on your day for Friday. Check out Futurecast. You can see that things are expected to stay relatively quiet. Now, here we go into the first part of the night. Wouldn't completely rule out, again, some of those light sprinkles out there. Convergence zone activity still trying to stay a little pesky and around. It's really stubborn to completely disappear. But if you do notice anything, it won't be nearly as intense as what we had yesterday with that period of heavy rain, that hail that came out, even that water spout. All of that should be lighter shower activity. We'll continue to die off as we head on into the night, and we'll continue to see that here as we head on throughout the nighttime hours. As we continue on, you'll see that a lot of that will be out of here by the time we head on into early Friday morning, and then we're just talking about more of a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day on Friday, and then into more of our day on Saturday too. Now, you'll see that system that's out over the Pacific, that is heading our way, and it gets really close as we head on into Saturday evening and Saturday night. At that point, you'll see 8:30 heading into Saturday night. We're seeing a line of showers just off of the coast, and it will hit the coast. It will hit the Olympic Peninsula. But for many of us here closer to I-5, not really seeing much of anything impacting us at that point. I think we are going to keep a lot of it out towards the west, and then a lot of it dies farther to the south too. Now, first, with that being the case, wanted to point out just really how little in terms of rain we're expecting with it, even through early Sunday morning, maybe a tenth to a quarter of an inch there. And as far as the snow, not going to be much of an issue at all. You keep around maybe a few snowflakes up around Stevens Pass with that convergence zone activity this evening, but that will be just about it. Let's show you how that system over the weekend does come together, because it does find its way closer to the region as we head on into that point. This is into Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock, then into Saturday night, 11 o'clock there. And then as we continue on into Sunday, you'll see that a lot of that moisture does dive southward, heading on to that point, down into not even more so Oregon, but more so California as we head on into Sunday night and into the day on Monday, and we'll dodge some of it, although could be some spotty showers around as we head on into next Monday and Tuesday, and maybe even a slightly higher chance Tuesday night into Wednesday with some of that moisture that's with that system being wrapped up, thrown our way, and we could see that back in the forecast at that time. Other than that, we're just really tracking temperatures. Highs really climbing by the time we head into Saturday, and then seeing that 70-degree day on Monday. That's going to be gorgeous. Average highs at 59. So a lot of these days are expected to be above normal, as we'll see a brief cool down heading on into the following Thursday, and then back up we go again into the following Friday, and then into the following weekend, well into the 60s. Tonight, expect those lows to drop down into the 30s yet again. It's going to be a chilly overnight, just not quite as cold as early this morning. Highs tomorrow, topping off in the mid-50s around Blaine, 57 around Mount Vernon, 58 in Arlington, mid-50s around Oak Harbor and in Coopville, 56 expected in Linwood. We'll see a high 59 in Redmond, Bremerton up to 58 degrees, and highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s for parts of Thurston as well as Pierce counties. 7-day forecast. Very spring-like weather ahead for us, and little in terms of rain will be around. We'll have those spotty showers, and if you are going to be out that way towards the coast here, or really even over the Olympic Peninsula over the weekend, keep a little more of an ear and an eye out for some of those showers that might be finding their way through the area right there. If not, better chances will be next Tuesday into Wednesday for those of us, and even then we're talking about some pretty light rain moving in at that time. Okay, everyone, well, enjoy your Thursday night. Prepare for the chilly start for your Friday morning, and get ready to end off the work week. We'll talk to you soon.